Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so what's the topic going to be, Sam? Yeah.
Okay, today's topic is the work culture in Taiwan and how much
Yes.
of a circus it is in the English teaching industry.
Yeah, sure, it's a circus. In Taiwan, it's pretty horrible, in terms of English teaching.
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe so. At least in the schools that I have been before, they're really
Yes.
terrible. They're terrible so
Yeah,
far.
I mean, I have to say that about 90% of the school are actually quite hard to work with. Yeah, so I don't expect you guys to put faith in this industry too much. I'm not
Yeah.
saying this industry is not good, but it's definitely tough. Yeah,
Yeah, the faith is already lost 2 years ago.
I know.
Okay, so
So-
let's talk about how it is bad in Taiwan. How is the English teaching industry, especially the 补习班, the cram schools? How are
Yes.
they bad? So our first topic is poor management. Okay,
Yes,
so
that's the
Caleb,
thing.
can you take the reins on this one?
Well, basically, I'm a coordinator of a 补习班, right?
Yes.
So I know this industry inside out, especially the management. And all I have to say is everything is not properly planned. And often we hire teachers to put out the fire.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, it's like if we have good teachers, like really experienced teachers, when they come into this industry and they wanted to teach. But the problem is, sooner or later they will find out this place is not for them, right?
Yeah.
And then they will just starting to think about another school, and then they will start quitting.
Yep.
So I think that's the part where it's quite difficult for the management to actually organize the whole school because we're short staffed. Sam.
Yes. Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
And I have a question. Since you are more experienced than me in this industry,
Yes.
where do these, so-called experienced teacher go? Where do they go?
Well, basically they will actually go to different places. Like I think because of the pandemic, it's actually hard to find proper teachers. Like it's a lot difficult to find foreign teachers than before. Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of them actually went back to their countries, and that's why we're actually quite short-staffed. And Sam, you were saying about like where those teachers go.
Yeah.
I think they are over the place. They actually go to like schools where they can offer them better money and better hours. So I think that's why it's actually quite tough for the management to actually carry on the tasks. Yeah, because every teacher will probably last 2 or 3 months, and then they will think about somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay, that's bad. That's bad
I
for
know.
us, not necessarily for those experienced teachers. Maybe
Yeah.
they're going to a better place. For now, I don't know because, I'm in one of those, you would say, slightly more hectic schools. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I want to talk about poor management is, it's not just poor management. You can actually see that they're just a mess, okay? It's not necessarily
Yes.
poor management. They just
Yes.
do not know how to do things right. For example, okay, in our school,
Yes.
Caleb, on our communication books, we will have
Yes.
a thing we call it a slip, right? Okay,
Yes.
so every day on a communication book, we will have a slip, and on the slip it
Yes.
says, okay, what is our lesson today? Which page
Yes.
did we do? And what is the homework, right?
Yes.
Okay, so basically every day after class, during the class, okay, we will take the communication books outside, and the teachers outside will help you stick the slips. Okay.
Yes.
And the problem is they're doing a poor job at
I know.
sticking slips.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Okay,
I know.
simple task. Okay, put glue on the slip and put the slip on the communication book. They can't even do it right. Sometimes
not rocket
they
science.
Sometimes they stick it on a different page.
Yes.
Sometimes,
I don't know why.
sometimes they use too much glue, and the entire book just
Yeah.
glues shut. I don't
I
know
know.
what's happening. Okay, and the second thing I want to say is the homeworks in our class, in our school, we call it worksheets. Okay.
Yes.
Tons
Yes.
of mistakes. Tons of mistakes.
Well,
And also,
yeah.
they are using, grammar patterns where the students haven't even learned before.
I know.
Like, what the hell is going on? Okay, how can
Yeah.
we expect the students to do well when we can't even perform, simple tasks? I think
Yes.
there is no excuses over here. These management, they are just horrendous. Okay, I cannot stand that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, every school, every cram school has their own ways of dealing with the tasks. I mean, for example, like maybe every like when you some schools they will ask student to copy every day's activities and the things you have to learn.
Yep.
But for our school, because we have a lot of students, so basically we just have to prepare the slips, like daily lessons for the teachers. And the teachers will just follow these lessons, and then so they don't need to do extra work. Yeah, because I think time is a big issue. Yeah, time management for each class. Our class goes for about 2 hours, and we take, I think every hour we have a 10-minute break. So the clock is ticking. So we have to make sure that these teachers, they already have things prepared. So when they come in, they can just collect the communication book and give the slip to the receptionist. Well, we call them receptionists, the front desk, to do the gluing. But like you have said before, it's actually tough. They don't even know. They actually glue them on the wrong page, right, Sam?
Yep.
And in terms of worksheet, I have to be honest with you. I didn't make those ones. I didn't make those worksheet. It's actually some other teachers before me. They actually prepare the worksheet. So all I have to do is go onto the computer and then print them out, and for the next teacher, foreign teacher to use, right? Yeah. So I have to say that the owners, like employers, they actually expect teachers to like perform a good job in teaching.
How
But-
can we do that when this is all that we can get?
Yeah.
Right.
But the reality is far-fetched, right, Sam? Do you agree? Like,
Yes, I do agree.
Yeah.
And also another thing that points out to we have a poor management is the classroom itself. I have seen a lot of classes where the classroom management is just horrible, simply horrible. Okay?
you can't blame on the teachers, right? You can't.
Well,
Sometimes,
I think
yeah.
it is the teacher's responsibility in terms of classroom management.
Yes.
And you can argue some teachers are here just for the money. They don't actually
Yes.
care about the class. But I think classroom management is really important because if
Yes.
kids are crazy all the time and something bad happens, that's on you. That's on the teacher.
That's the
If
thing.
you cannot
yeah.
do that, you shouldn't be a teacher. That's my opinion, and I stand behind my statement.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Sam. Like when teachers, when they have interviews, with the school, first things they will notice is this school like a high-end school, or is this school like sort of for the average student? Like, I mean, are the parents middle class, or are the parents, like become to the rich tier? Yeah. So if you realize this school, I mean, maybe the decoration or the settings are probably sort of alright, not like really expensive, right? Then you expect that the quality of the students are probably going to be sort of average. So that means from the employer's perspective, they wanted to make money, right?
Yep.
So of course, they will accept any kind of students. They don't really care whether these students have issues, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that brings like a pretty tough burden on the teachers. Do you agree?
I
Yeah.
do agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of classroom management, teachers can only do so much because sometimes I mean the families, right? The parents, if they don't educate their kids properly, it's actually quite tough for the teachers to educate the kids.
Yep.
Needless to say, whether they can learn English in class because their behavior are actually not up to the standard,
I would
right?
say English comes second. The first
Yeah.
the first thing we need to focus on is classroom management
And discipline.
And-
Discipline.
Yeah, you have to enforce discipline. And
Yes.
okay, I think the problem is the teachers are just too busy. Okay, we have too
Yes.
much stuff to do. Okay,
I know.
we have to, grade the homeworks. We have to sometimes even take telephone calls, which is
Yes.
the thing that I hate the most because it messes up your
Yes.
flow. Okay, you
I
were
know.
doing something, now
Yeah.
you have to take a phone call, and also you need to help out the other teachers. Okay, they
Yeah.
might have some questions today. There might be a sub teacher. They might
Yes.
ask you what they should do. And today, something students might have questions with their homework, and the
Yes.
parents might have questions they want to ask you. So a lot of
Yes.
things we have to take care of. So I think
I know.
okay, how do we make it better? First, let's start with classroom management. If the
Yes.
teachers don't even have the mental capacity to improve their classroom management, I don't think
Yes.
this is going to work at all. This school should
Yeah.
just go out of business. Yes.
I know.
And I
That's the thing.
stand strongly behind this statement.
Yeah. And then the second thing we need to keep in mind is the quality of the students. Sometimes, like I said before, owners, they are just here to make money. So they cannot tell the parents, I think your kids are probably not the desired one we want, right? Of course, parents will be angry, right? I mean, I have to say that English teaching is a bit like a service industry. We're here to become like, we're here to serve, like the student, right?
Yep.
We're not actually here we're here to teach them, but in a nice way. So we cannot really, give any physical punishment, right? It's against the law.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have never hit a student before. Just
No.
slightly on the head like this. Pia, pia, pia,
Yeah.
pia, so that they know, they did something wrong. That's it.
I know.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, I would agree, but in terms of, providing a service, for me it's a little
Yeah.
bit different. I only care about my class, okay?
Yes.
And if they behave well, okay? That's
Yes.
the only thing that I care. Okay, if they can do that, I consider my job done.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you want me to improve their English in what way, in a certain way, they need to get a score to 80, 100, I don't care. Okay, I only care about the classroom management first and how they behave in class. The kids,
Yes.
okay, many of them grew up on, iPads technology, okay,
Yeah.
for a long time, okay? They don't understand how they should behave in a classroom setting, okay? So
I
I'm
know.
here to teach them that. If they can do it, you're fine, okay? You can stay
Yeah.
in my class.
I have to say something is, English teaching, like, this is actually a big market in Taiwan, right? Like, I have to say that parents actually care about their kids' English because they really put focus on this subject. And sometimes the students we have, right, Sam, do you remember? Sometimes when we do a placement test with these students, you cannot believe it, right? I mean, the level of their English. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the reality. And
Yes.
if that's the case, we just have to put them in a lower level.
Yeah. There's nothing else we can do.
But
Yeah.
I'll have to say the placement tests, at least in our school, it's weird. Some of the
Yeah.
new students that I receive, they just don't understand what they're doing. They can't even spell simple words. So
Yeah.
there must be something we can improve on. But for now, I'll focus on classroom management because the way I
Yeah.
think is this. Okay, today, if we want to call ourselves teachers, okay, we
Yes.
must have our shit together, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we must
gotta-
have
yeah,
self-discipline and know what we are actually doing, and that we are well off to a point that we can, try to manage the
I know,
kids,
yeah.
teach them
Yeah.
how to do things, okay? But
Yeah.
if we don't have the extra energy to do this, how can you expect the teachers to teach self-discipline to students? Okay.
It's actually
If
quite
this
a
is
tough
the
job.
case, okay,
Yeah.
these schools, okay, they might, I'll just say, maybe they should go out of business. I don't like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So the problem right now is when we talk about management, is something that every link has to be like every part of the school. Like for example, teaching discipline, and maybe in terms of school materials, it has to work together in order to have this proper management, right? But right now, like I said before, the problem is people are hired to put out the fire. They are not hired to actually manage the school, right? Yeah. So that brings us to the next topic, which is high staff turnover. Sam.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And
this
I
is,
have a
one
pretty
of the
good
biggest
idea
issue.
why that is. Okay, so like
Yeah.
you said, more experienced teachers, why would they want to go to another school? Because they're just not willing to pay higher. And
Yeah,
the
you're right.
experienced teachers have to deal with all the BS that I have mentioned before.
Yes,
They're just
yes.
not gonna stay. So maybe
I know.
they will work
Yeah.
here for, like a year or two and
Yeah.
go to another place. Like, what is the term? To find greener pasture. I believe
Yeah.
that is how it is said. Okay, and also a total lack of respect. Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know how, but in Taiwan, okay, at least in the schools
Yes.
that I work with, I wouldn't say it's all Taiwan. Okay,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
management style is how should you say it? Authoritarian. I think that's
Yeah,
the
that's
word.
the thing. Yeah.
Authoritarian. Okay, so imagine this. Okay, if you want the teachers to obey you at all times, how
Yes.
can they command respect in the classroom, right?
Yeah,
It makes
I know.
It takes their ego away. It takes their pride away. It takes
Yes.
their to enforce to command respect from a classroom.
Yes.
Take that away. So now
Yeah.
they will have problems, managing a classroom. So a total lack of respect, which is constantly, they are always constantly trying to tell you to do this and that, okay, to do it their way, and there's always something that you do that is wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't like that, and I
They're
believe
here
a lot
to
of the
nit.
teachers do not like
Yeah.
that as well, and also low pay.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
consider compared to other industries, I believe this industry is slightly slightly lower paid. So that's why
Yeah.
a high staff turnover. Okay, if they don't like this school, they will just go to another school. Okay.
Yes,
It
exactly,
doesn't,
yeah.
It doesn't matter to them. And also, okay.
Yes.
In case you haven't noticed, children are getting crazier and crazier nowadays because they are
Oh,
raised
yes.
by technology. And if you
Yes.
take that technology away, they just don't know how to act. Okay.
I know.
The only
Yeah.
thing that can calm them down is technology. Without technology, now you give them books, they just don't know how to behave. So I believe that is another reason why teachers are, finding another job or just, quitting.
Yes.
And also,
But
for me
Yeah,
personally, okay, they give us a lot of administrative responsibilities.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
We have
Paperwork.
to we have to take phone calls. We have to, take care of things outside of English teaching.
Yes,
Okay,
I
I don't
know.
like that. Okay, I just want
Yes.
to focus on English teaching, and
Yes.
that's it. Okay. Why don't we delegate all these, extra work to another person who can handle all the administrative work? But
Yes.
one might
But we're
argue,
short-staffed. Like I said, we're
one
short-staffed.
might argue that maybe the school just does not have the budget and the resources to dedicate
Yeah.
the job to one person. So yeah, maybe that is how things are. Maybe that is why
Yeah.
I'm not happy for now, because compared to other teachers, I am, not that experienced. Maybe my English still needs improving. And maybe
I don't
I
think so.
need to have, some
Yeah.
certificate for me to go to a better school. But I
Yeah.
think this video is mostly for teachers who are starting out. teachers who want to teach English in Taiwan. Okay,
Yes.
maybe you don't have any experience. This is something you will encounter on
Yes,
a daily
yes.
basis. Yeah.
So basically, when we talk about high staff turnover, they're just saying it's called juggling the hot potato. It means this school already has a lot of issues, and the teacher before you, they just quit. So the management will have to find another victim. I wouldn't say victim, right?
Maybe you can call them victims. Yeah.
Yes, to fill in the job, right?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of hidden issues, like what Sam mentioned before, such as teachers are expected to do so much. Like you have to focus on teaching, grading, as well as paperwork, right? So all these problems comes down to the teachers, and the things like you said before, if other schools offer better pay, well, you're not loyal to this school, you just quit, right? No matter what. Like basically other schools will have to, if they wanted to pay you more, then for part-time teachers they would just leave, right? Same.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
They
reality.
can just leave and find another school. They don't
Yeah.
care. And
Yes.
in a sense, I don't care either.
Yeah. So the management, they don't really introspect themselves, so that's why they just wanted to find another person to clean up the mess. Yeah. So I guess that's why we're having a lot of a high staff turnover these days
Yep.
in terms of finding Chinese English teachers and foreign English teachers, right? So I think this is actually a big problem in the English teaching industry right now. So for those who actually wanted to know more about this industry, feel free to leave comment, and we're here to help. Yeah. So Sam, the next issues will be what I mentioned. What is the ideal management and the reality? It's a bit far-fetched. Do you agree?
How so?
They-
In what way?
They have these ideals, ways to manage the school, but the reality just doesn't fit, doesn't match. For example, they want teachers. They want every student to reach 85%, right? Their score. But the problem is their grade, their level is just not up there, right?
Yeah, when I got to this school, okay, the same class, I
my
looked
gosh.
at the previous tests. It's like 60s, 70s, and 50s. It's already, fucked up. Okay, so now you expect
Okay.
me to come here and save them? No. Okay,
That's the thing.
I'll just make sure my classroom is well managed. Okay,
Yes.
and that's it. Okay, their English level. I will do what I can to help them, but I'm not putting 120%. No.
I don't know why every school puts so much focus on kids' grade, because parents wanted to see the numbers instead of focus more on their English level, right? So that's the problem. Like every school will actually want their students to have 85%. It's a minimum passing rate, right? So that means we have to kind of go easy on the kids. So all these grades, scores, have been washed down. Do you agree?
Yeah,
They're being
they
washed
lower
down,
the
yeah.
passing grade. Like,
Yes.
it's a shit show. It's a circus, like I said. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, if we don't give these kids 85%, they're just gonna have retest. And the problem is for the retest is another burden for the teachers,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So, for example, I try so hard to review with the kids and make sure they can pass, they can get the 85%. But some kids just don't get it. I don't feel sorry. I mean, I don't blame them, because every kid is different, right? But then again, like, if they don't reach 85%, then we have to another retest for them and make sure they get 85. What do you think about this, Sam?
I don't like it. If I have the chance, I will at least do the retest once. If they don't
Yes.
pass, Okay, I'll just, quietly, either not giving them a score at all or just, let them pass. Okay, I'll give them
Yes,
85.
I know.
Because I don't care.
Yes.
I don't care about that. I don't care about their test scores. I only care
Yes.
about if they behave or not. And
Yes.
are they actually learning? Okay?
Yes.
Is, what we are teaching right now too hard for them that they need to go to a lower level? That's all I
Yes.
care. So when the management talks about, their ideals, okay,
Yes.
they want us to do, okay, so for this school at least, okay, our school, okay, they want us to do extra, okay. I compare
Yeah, they do.
what we teach
Yes.
on the textbooks and the tests.
Yes.
It's like two totally
Different
different
ballparks.
things. Yeah.
Different
Let me give
ballpark,
you
yeah.
an example, okay?
Yeah.
When we are doing level 2, okay, I won't say what the curriculum is. Okay, this curriculum, level 2, okay, they're only teaching sentences only.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But in the tests, they have questions and sentences, and we
Yes.
expect them to do them all. No, and also with with what's happening in
Yes.
the recent generations, okay, because
Yeah.
we are not, the management, they do not understand that the change in this generation, the direction that it is going.
Yeah,
Okay, they are
I
going to
know.
learn much slower if they're doing
Yes.
it by books. Okay, because they just
That's
don't
right,
read
yes.
anymore. Maybe
Yes.
somehow, some way we can make this all into
Yes.
a video format, and maybe that is how the kids will perform better. I don't know. In our school, at least, we haven't tried it yet, and I can say it confidently. I think that will be the direction that the future of English teaching is going.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And also,
So okay.
I think the management just have a total lack of understanding in English. Like they know
Oh,
how to
they
teach
do, yeah.
English. Maybe they can teach them how to do tests. Okay,
Yes.
but you will notice, especially if you're a foreigner, you will
Yeah.
notice that some English teachers who are in management, they have
Yeah.
problems communicating in English.
They
If you
do,
have
right?
problems
Yeah.
communicating in English, how can you call yourself an English teacher? Okay,
Yeah.
maybe you're just here, to teach
Yeah.
English like math. Okay, you give them the grammar sentence patterns.
Oh, I know the
and
subject,
you
right? And the
memorize,
verb.
you memorize
Yeah.
all the vocabulary, put the vocabulary into the sentence pattern, and there you go. This is English. Okay, that's how they do
know.
it. No. Okay, that is in fact not how it works in reality, and we see
yeah.
this all the time. Okay, these so-called English teachers, they don't
Yes.
know how to communicate in English. They don't know
Yes.
how to have a genuine,
I think, yeah.
genuine, conversation in English. Okay, when they try to chat in English, it's all those, bullshit questions. How do you like Taiwan? Okay.
Yes, I know.
Are you learning Chinese? Bullshit. They cannot have a genuine, normal conversation in English. They cannot
Yes.
think in English. In their mind, it's still Chinese. Every time they're trying to speak, they're translating Chinese into
Yes,
English.
their
And
mindset.
that's why they have trouble communicating
Yes,
in
they do.
English. Okay. And
Yeah.
they want to tell me how to teach? Fuck no. Let me do it my way. Fuck
I
them.
know. Yeah. So like I said, ideal and reality are totally different ballpark.
Yeah, they don't. At least the schools that I have worked in, they
Yeah.
have no idea what they're doing, and a lot of the times, okay,
I know.
it is actually the foreign teachers that are picking up the slacks, and they don't like the foreign teachers because they just don't know how English works.
Yeah.
It's a shit show. It's a circus, like
I
I,
know.
said.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
like you mentioned before, like the next phase of English teaching will be different. So
I believe
because
so, yeah.
we have to catch up with the technology, right? So the problem is English. I mean, these exams or these tests shouldn't be written based. We shouldn't judge kids by the score, right? That's not true. That's not right. Yeah, we shouldn't do that because every kid has different talent in different aspects of English learning. For example, some kids, they can speak better and they can listen better. Some kids can read better, and some kids can maybe write better. So we do have oral tests, but the problem is still with the written test. We expect kids to finish these questions, and so we can give them a score. So the ideal part of teaching is supposed to be something that is comprehensive. So we should teach kids in different aspects, not just writing, or maybe make them to become like a test machine, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all I have to say in terms of reality, that English teaching is somehow facing a big problem in Taiwan. Yeah. Because like the old school ways of English learning and the new school ways of English learning are like clashing, right? Do you agree? Yeah, they're clashing. Yeah.
And I am an example of how you can achieve, just with technology. Yeah. I think English is just English, whether you want to learn it old school or new school. But when we talk about old school, okay, some of the stuff are just ineffective. Yeah. It actually messes up with your ability to speak.
It's out of date.
See in our country. Yeah.
Yeah. It's out of date.
Yeah.
I think I actually went to New Zealand when I was about 13, and before that I couldn't even speak a word of English, right? But when I arrived there, I started picking up English, and I started mingling with the kids. So that's how I learned English.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I came back to Taiwan, I started to learn how to teach. That's another story, right?
Yeah, just because your English is great does not mean that you can teach English. That is totally different. I have to say, the first year of me teaching English, I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah. I had no idea. Yeah. That's
I know. So
yeah, that's why. Okay, imagine when I rage quit that day. Imagine the teacher that has to clean up my mess. Imagine that.
Oh.
That is what's happening right now. Okay, but
that's what's happening right everywhere.
I've got the karma already. Okay, I had to clean up other teachers, bullshit
I know.
in this school.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what you do in this industry.
So that's the thing with this industry. Everybody is cleaning another teacher's mess.
Yeah. So how can we do better? Maybe do not hire these teachers who have no experiences. Okay.
Yeah.
And actually have a training, actual working training program for them. Right? Because a lot of the training program, they just teach you a lot of stuff that is, it's not practical, and then they send you. It's like sending you into battle, especially with the kids getting crazier nowadays. No one's gonna survive. I remember the previous. I used to work in a big corporation, the Bushiban in Taiwan. Okay. Yeah. The first year we have a lot of teachers, right? Everybody is new, but by the second year, okay, 1/3 of them are gone. I don't know what it looks like in the third year because I was long gone before that. I can imagine it must be they must only have half of them left. But
there's no loyalty.
I'm not sure.
There's no loyalty with these teachers or
no loyalty. I think there is a lack of honor and loyalty in our culture right now in Taiwan.
It's all about money.
We don't teach that in school. Okay. Less and less teachers are actually telling stories where there are a lot of great characters, and we might admire the characters and try to do what they do. Okay. We don't have that anymore. So I think a sense of honor is actually lacking in the nowadays society. At least in my generation, I'm 26 by the way. I don't think that guys, at least my friends have this kind of loyalty to
they don't.
A corporation, to another company. No, they don't have that loyalty anymore. Not anymore.
I mean, if you ask them to do overtime or go the extra mile, they don't feel like it. Because let's talk about the pay.
Yeah.
Which
that
comes
is
to our next topic, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the pay. What about the pay? Is it too high, Caleb?
No. Well, but I have to be honest with you. I still have to say that if you're competent, then you will be able to get the pay. But in general, Taiwanese employers, they think they are being too generous on the pay. They always have this mindset, okay, so I'm paying you this much. I don't know what's the average pay in Taiwan, Sam.
I think for Taiwanese English teachers, it's between 35K per month to 40K per month. I think that's the average.
Yes. Yeah. So I have to say, it's a lot of owners think, oh, this is the market rate. So no matter how experienced you are, I'm not going to give you 50 or 60.
Yeah.
So in Taiwan, experience is not a big thing. Experience is important, but they don't count this as like something you can bargain with the owner about the pay, right?
Yeah. So that's why loyalty is out of the window.
That's the thing.
If you're getting 40K per month and you're living in Taipei, how can you start your own family? Tell me how, please. Okay, you will have to rely on your own family. And what if your own family is not doing well? What are you gonna do? Okay, that's why loyalty is out of the question. No more loyalty. It's just not practical. So that's why I think this is why people are always looking for better opportunities, because the future seems so this future seems bad for at least for my generation. And out of those fortunate ones who actually have a good job, okay, they might have a good teaching job with acceptable salaries, okay, they're lucky. Most people are not that lucky. I've known my friends, and I've known their salaries, okay, even outside of this industry, is not looking good.
No. I mean, you'd be lucky. Like with my previous job, I was on 60K, but I mean, let's consider quite high for English teaching, right?
Yep.
I mean, for Chinese English teacher. I mean, for foreign English teacher, you might get more. If you work for these private schools, they're willing to offer you more. But what about the hourly rate, Sam, for English teachers? I think
I've interviewed to a lot of schools, and I think Taiwanese English teachers is like 500 per hour.
To 600 depends on the size of the class. Yeah.
I've never.
But anything 650 to 700.
Yeah, not me.
Anything 600 700 is actually very rare. Yeah. So for foreign teachers, right, it's about 700 to 800. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on experience.
Higher. And let me tell you something. If you're a foreign teacher, if you actually like Taiwan and looking forward to teaching in Taiwan, let me tell you something. Okay, there are some foreigners that are actually living a good life here, teaching English in Taiwan.
They do.
Some of them get paid more than 1,000 NTD per hour.
Oh, of course.
And they know how to handle all the bullshits that I have mentioned, and I can tell they're living a really good life here in Taiwan. Yeah.
The thing is, like with if you are doing one-on-one tutoring, right? For foreign teachers, the average rate is usually 1,000 per hour, right? 1,000 per hour. I mean, I used to work part-time, so that's why when I was teaching TOEIC or some exam-based English, right? Maybe like IELTS. Yeah, I think I can charge something like 800 per hour, easy. Yeah. But actually, like the low pay issue in Taiwan still exists. That's why everyone is actually quite worried about having a family, right? Not to mention that you can buy a house. You cannot. It's almost like a dream to buy a house, right?
Yeah, at least not in the city. Yeah, not
Yeah.
in the city at least. Yeah.
You might have to go somewhere further, like maybe the outskirt of Taipei, like
Yeah.
Keelung or Taoyuan,
Yeah, but
somewhere like that.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm actually
Yeah, I'm
okay
fine.
with.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
actually okay with my pay. Okay, it's not because it is high or something, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with the reality because if you look at the economy in Taiwan, I think this is normal for
Yeah,
people
yeah.
in my generation who are around 23 to 28. They have
Yeah.
this salary. It's no big deal. I'm not being treated different in this
I think I'll
industry.
stop you from
than-
here, Sam.
than other
22 or
industries.
23K, it's a bit crazy. I haven't heard any
No,
rate
no.
like.
People who are 23 to 28
Oh,
years
okay.
old.
Sorry about that. Yes.
Yeah.
You mean
23
about
to
the
28
age?
years old, but some people do get that pay.
They do,
Yes,
right?
imagine that. Imagine that. And
Oh my gosh.
I've been there before. I used to work part time in other places. I used
Yeah, yeah.
to work part time in restaurants. It is
Yeah.
horrible. Like there's no
I know.
hope in your life. No hope.
So what's the hourly rate for like a
I used to get
part-time
120 per hour.
Oh my
of
gosh,
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this is
nowadays
crazy,
it's
right?
actually
Yeah.
better. I think it's 180 and something per hour. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those assistant teachers at our school get paid about 180,
Yeah.
and it's gonna go up. Yeah, I have to say, 200 is still something that is not still a bit low. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why there's no loyalty for these assistant teachers. They don't
No.
care.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just here to make some pocket change, right? Like they're just here to make some pocket money, right?
And when we talk about loyalty, like
Yeah.
what's loyalty? What do you think is loyalty? Why are you loyal to this company and not to another company? Why?
Well,
You have to
I have to
believe in
say-
the company, right? You have
Yeah.
to believe that the company is going to do better in the future, right?
I have to say that it comes to the relationship between you and the employer, right? Most Taiwanese employers, they don't like to pat their staff's shoulder, say, "Hey, you've done a good job. Keep up, keep going, right? Keep working on it." Instead, they usually will put you down, say, "Oh, okay, you can finally do this," or, "Oh, it's about time, right, Caleb?" Like they usually use a derogative way, right, to sort of like condescend the staff, and that's why most people want compliments instead of being like put down, right? I mean, I work for you not because I'm lower than you, right? I work for you is because I need the money, and it's a job, but I'm not here to like get told off by you or get put down by you, right, Sam?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're all human beings, right? No one's lower. So I think in our next topic, we'll talk about something that is pretty nasty, which is the discrimination of Taiwanese English teaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of discrimination going on, right, Stan, in Taiwan?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
discrimination everywhere, so we
Everywhere.
will talk about this industry, what it is. Yeah.
Yes. So I guess that's it for today, which is, we just have to keep in mind that the English teaching industry has problems, but you're still free to join or to apply for the jobs. Yeah. There's nothing, nothing to stop you. You can just apply for the job. But the problem is that you're most likely to face a lot of high staff turnover, and also you'll have to clean other teachers' mess. Yeah, that's it. All right.
Okay, so see you next time.
See you next time. Bye bye.